Rebels began their trip to the Final Four 10 years ago against San Francisco. The Dons were to the national poll in '77 what the Rebels are in '87, #1 almost all year. The Dons had the size. Bill Cartwright, number 24, now with the Knicks, and jumping James Hardy. But San Francisco was not ready for what the Rebels had. Few teams were.
It was a unique team that it was one of the first teams in college basketball that played a full court pressure man-to-man defense and then also raced the ball up the court and shot it quick. In those days, teams that were pressing were generally playing slow offensively, or else they were playing fast offensively and aggressive defensively. But we were the first that combined the two, I think, and it was a special team that has shot the ball so well.
The Runnin' Utes in round 2 of the NCAA tournament, avenging an early season loss. And not only did UNLV shoot the ball well, but they had so many that could shoot it. Sam Smith, Robert Smith, Owens, Gondrzic, and Theus.
They set the NCAA per game scoring record, also the single game scoring record. And correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't have the three-point play back then. When you think about that, that is awesome.
One-time voice of the Runnin' Rebels, Ron Vito, covered the team on their way to the Final Four.
I tell you one thing the team in '76, '77 had, and I don't say that this team doesn't have it. I'm not as close to them as I was to the other squad, but the other team had charisma.
Charisma, plus plenty of shooting, helped UNLV handle Idaho State in the Western Region Championship. And for the first time ever, the Runnin' Rebels were on their way to the Final Four.
It was a crowning achievement, certainly for me, to be part of a program that was going. There wasn't any question about that. It didn't really hit me until I was there.
Everybody wants to get to the Final Four. I think every coach would like to get there, and it was a great feeling when we won that tournament, and we knew we were on our way to the Final Four.
My immediate thought was to make sure that our youngsters went into the Final Four to win the Final Four, and not simply to make the trip. That's a heck of a trip to make if you don't win it.
The Rebels ended up losing the first game by a single point to North Carolina.
So many people talk about your season is made if you go to the Final Four, whether you win it or not. I didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Can this year's team get to the Final Four as smoothly as the '77 team did?
Well, it isn't an easy thing, and it was a difficult trip. Witness our Utah game in the regional tournament. It was an extremely difficult trip. This team has the potential to get there.
Does this team have a good shot of returning?
Oh, I think so, Dave. I felt that way after I saw UNLV play in the NIT tournament. They beat some very fine basketball teams in that tournament.
As far as Tark is concerned, no one makes it to the Final Four just because they're good.
With the exception of North Carolina. I think they just might be good enough to get there without being lucky. But I think any other team, whether it be Purdue, us, or whoever gets there, Iowa, I think we're going to have to get the right bounce of the basketball and make the big play at the right time. And I'm always concerned because we're not a big team. You know, I would feel a lot more comfortable if one of our big centers were playing and we're playing real well. I always worry about going into a big national tournament with a 6'8" center, and you know, and our guards aren't very big neither. So you know, our guards are 5'11" and 6'2", so we're not a big ball club, but we got good quickness. We have good athletes, and we have great leadership from our seniors.
Tark adds that any inadequacies within the team are more than made up for with hard work.
Well, these kids have done some great things, winning the NIT and then going to Memphis and winning, and then going to Auburn on national television and playing the way we played, and going through the league so far the way we have. It's just been a special team, and their work habit and their work ethic is just so great. I think the thing that amazes me every day is how hard they practice.
Good crisp passes.
They're so intense and work so hard, and I think it's a reflection on how they play.